Your heart, keep it in your pocket for safekeeping. Don't ever let nobody be the reason you throw it out, you stop caring about it. Don't let your head get in the way, can't be defined by your mistakes. You know you try really hard, but sometimes you fall, yeah, sometimes you fall. Be careful with my heart, oh. Say I'm not sensitive, but I can sense if it's right for me. Don't let your head get in the way, can't be defined by your mistakes. You know you try really hard, but sometimes you fall, yeah, sometimes you fall.
Screw is giving me hell. So what I think I need to do is I got this off, but it's this one screw over here that just will not cooperate. That motherfucker is in there.
Sometimes you fall. 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 Your heart, keep it in your pocket for safekeeping. Don't ever let nobody be the reason you throw it out, you stop caring about it. Don't let your head get in the way, can't be defined by your mistakes. You know you try really hard, but sometimes you fall, yeah, sometimes you fall. Be careful with my heart, oh. Say I'm not sensitive, but I can sense if it's right for me. Don't let your head get in the way, can't be defined by your mistakes. You know you try really hard, but sometimes you fall, yeah, sometimes you fall. Keep it in here and lock it. Keep it in here, don't knock it. Before you try being on your own side. But sometimes you fall. 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 She's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that she'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better?
Alright, so we're back. We got all the framing out. So now we got to work on rerouting the outlet wiring. It's old work, it's not new work. So all I'm doing is taking an old work box and just moving it over a couple inches from where it was initially. So what we're doing is, you see the wires hanging, the electrical wires, that's the wires from upstairs from the outlet. So all I did was took them from the existing hole and I pulled them back through this 2x6, 2x8, whatever that is. Pulled them through the hole, so I had to go upstairs and make a new hole so I can move the outlet over. So I'm going to go upstairs, drill a hole down, and yeah, go over, drill a hole down, come back down here, feed the wires through the new hole, and then put the old work box in.
Cause I don't know what I want. Yeah, I'm here talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that'll make her feel better? Make her feel better. And that's where she'll go.
So we left off with putting the base down. Once the base is screwed on, then we'll start with our dividers, which will divide the, so the bench is going to be not only a bench, but the bottom of the bench is going to be dividers for shoes. So that was my main reason for making a mudroom, because even with the closet that we had before I took it out, it still seemed like it was too small to hold coats, shoes, and y'all saw all that stuff I took out. It was holding everything. So we wanted to be a little bit more functional. So it's going to be a bench where you can sit down, you can put your shoes on, the shoes will be put away. I don't have to worry about coming in the house and there's 105 pair of shoes at the door and you got to step over them. Yeah, because that's what my kids and my husband like to do. They like to come straight to the door, take that stuff off, drop it at the door, and that's it. So yeah, once we get the base screwed on and the bottom layer screwed on, then we'll go and start with the dividers. I think it's gonna be either 12 or 14 cupboards for shoes. I think 14. I think. Y'all, listen. I told y'all I'm building this as I go. Like, I have a plan in my head, but it's not like executed on paper or anything. So I'm literally picturing this is how it's going to be, and as I'm picturing it, that's how I'm going by building it. One of my goals, I do want to actually start to get into the habit of planning projects out. That way I'm not like, oh, what did I say this is going to be, or what did I say? The more you watch me, you'll come to realize that I'm very impatient, and I just do stuff off the whim. And shout out to editing software, because baby, when I tell you there is a lot of trial and error in everything I do. I'm not perfect, never claim to be. I'm not a professional, never claim to be. This is my style of DIY. So anyway, I went way off track, but yeah, so we're gonna get that screwed in. I have another piece of 4x8 3/4 inch plywood that I need to cut down, which we need to do, and with that piece, it's going to be the back piece that's going to go along the wall, and then the top. So picture it just like a box, an open box. The front is just going to be open. So you're going to have your bottom piece, your back piece, your two sides, and then your cubbies. And then on the front of the bench, where the cubbies are going to go, it's going to be like, we're going to frame it out so it doesn't look rough. And so once the bench is done, I have I think it's a 1/4 inch thick underlayment. Turn it down, baby. About a 1/4 inch. I want to say it's MDF paneling. It's paneling for sure, and I want to say it's roughly a 1/4 inch. So what we're going to do with that is it's going to be like a form of shiplap. It's going to be faux shiplap. I found 1/4 inch piece of underlayment, paneling, and what we're going to do, we're going to cut those into strips, and we're going to put them on this wall. Then I'm going to paint them. I had to take up some of the flooring because I realized that, why waste flooring if this bench is going to be here? Like, I just believe in saving stuff. And like I said, being cost effective. So I pulled up the flooring. The flooring was not actually intact. As you can see, I have no baseboards on the walls yet. So the floor wasn't like actually held in place. That's another video. I'm not sure if this video is going to be out before the flooring video, but however way it goes, the flooring is not intact yet. So I pulled some of the flooring up, and then once I actually get the base into the walls, drilled into the studs, then I'll put the flooring down. And
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down to find one. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder.
alright, y'all, so all the pieces for the bench is cut. So you have this is the bottom piece. This is either the back or the top, and either the back or the top. I don't know which one, but bottom, top, back. Then you have, these are the which one is this? I wrote them so I won't get them mixed up. The vertical pieces, and then you have the horizontal pieces back here. You're gonna have your back, the bottom, the top where you sit, side, side, and then for the cubbies, it's going to go vertical. It's going to be 3 vertical pieces that go across, which is going to leave us with 4 cubby holes. Then you're going to have the horizontal, 3 horizontal pieces split in between that, which is going to leave 2 cubbies per space. So it's going to be 4 cubbies. You're going to have 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's going to be 8 cubby holes. So for this part, like I said, we got all the pieces. So for this part, we're basically going to put the puzzle together. We're going to put all the pieces together. Like I said before, I like to put in piece by piece as I go. I don't like to build the whole thing. Well, with this, you kind of got to build. You have to build the whole thing, kind of, sort of. So for this part, you're going to need a drill with the star. It's a star bit. See it? The wood screws that we're going to use. So you see how the head on it is it's a star. That's what that bit is for. So 2-inch wood screws is what we're going to need so we can screw the base into the studs in the wall. We're going to need a stud finder so you can find the studs in the wall, which if you don't have a stud finder, you really don't need it. You can do the old school method, the knock and listen. So if it feels like, if you knock, you hear the difference? Hold on. All right, you hear how that's hollow? Like it sounds like nothing's behind it? That's because it's not. If it echoes, it isn't a stud behind it. So, no stud, a stud. You hear how you don't hear the echo? That's a stud. And then 9 times out of 10, you can always tell if you've taken something down. Like when I took the shelves down from in the closet, and I had to go back and patch the holes. If you can look, it's an indicator of. Hold on, I probably can't see it, it's too bright. All right, you see the spots where I had to fill in the holes? Those are indicators of that's where studs will be. That's not always the case. Some of the screws that I took out were for studs, and the other ones were not. So some of the things that I took out were drywall anchor screws, which those things they're sturdy as shit. They sell different ones where it can hold up to 75 pounds. I think they sell ones that can hold up much more than that. Those are basically for if you do not have a stud where you're trying to put a nail. That's what a drywall anchor screw is for. So basically, what you do is you pre-drill a hole in a wall where you want to put this nail at, there where it isn't a screw. Pre-drill a hole. I wish I had one so I could show you, but basically what a drywall anchor screw looks like is it has like the regular Phillips screwdriver head on the front of it. It's plastic, but it's sturdy. Where you can use the drill to drill it into the wall, and then on the base of it, it's spiral with a very sharp point at the end. So basically what you do is you take that sharp point, you put it in the pre-drilled hole that you put into the wall, and you basically use the drill to screw the anchor into the hole as if it was a regular screw. Once that anchor is in the wall, then you take your regular nail and screw it into whatever you're putting on the wall, and then the nail will screw into the drywall anchor screw, and it'll hold as your base, as basically as a stud, pretty much. But yeah, if you don't have a stud finder, like I said, just do the knock and listen. If it's high-low, if it sounds like it's echoing, it isn't a stud. If it sounds like it's solid, you don't hear an echo, it's a stud. Oh, this baby right here. This is called a Craig jig. And it's the Craig jig K4 system. And basically what it does is it drills pocket holes. Pocket holes is basically, let me see if I can show you. So you see, hold on. All right, you see how this hole looks? So basically, that's how the pocket hole will be drilled when you drill it into your piece of wood. It'll make this. So once you drill, you're gonna, first of all, you're gonna take your piece. You're gonna take your whatever you're drilling the hole into, and this thing right here, you're gonna put it in between this and the base of this. You're gonna, depending on the thickness of your piece, you're gonna take this, you're gonna clamp it. It clamps down and it sandwiches in between this and the base so that it doesn't move. Depending on the thickness, you need to adjust to the thickness of your piece. Then also, don't mind the cobwebs and stuff, y'all. It was out in the garage. So then you also have the same measurements here. So basically what this is for is, this is the screw for this tool. This is the screw. So basically you take this and you put it into the screwdriver. Put it into the drill and lock it in, and it'll act as a bit. So you put it into the drill. With this, like I said, whatever the depth that you're trying to go into. So for example, my pieces are 3/4 inch pieces, but I need to, basically make a box. So I need to join all of the pieces. All the pieces are 3/4 inch. So 3/4 inch plus 3/4 inch equals 1.5 inches total. So you need to, so the furthest I want to go down with the pre-drill is 1.25 inches. If you go any deeper than that, when you drill, this is going to poke, this is going to come through your piece. You don't want that, because if it comes through your piece, once you drill a nail in, it's no good. It's not going to hold, because basically your wood is split in a sense. So if you drill through the piece, it's not going to be any good. So like I said, when you drill, it's going to leave this mark on your piece, and basically when you drill, it's going to, basically your nail, your screw, is going to screw into your piece on an angle. That's why it's called a pocket hole. Pocket holes is the most effective and strongest joinery there is. Not saying you can't do this with a regular nail and putting it in the regular way, but if you do, make sure you pre-drill your holes. If you don't pre-drill your holes, you are risking your piece to split. So the bit basically comes with a collar. So you need an Allen key too. You need a Allen key. What the fuck? You need an Allen. Is it an Allen key? It's an Allen key, right? Allen key. What, child? Whatever. I'll put it somewhere on the screen, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The thing that looked like an L, where you put it into screws like that to unloosen it. So you need one of them to unloosen this. Once you unloosen it, whatever depth you're trying to get to, there's a measurement. It tells you all the measurements, whatever one you're trying to get to. So the tip, so right now this is at 5/8 of an inch. I don't know what the hell I was trying to drill into something that was 5/8 of an inch, but thickness, I don't recall that. So this might have just been something where I put it on there and screwed it on that so I don't lose the collar, but whatever. So like I said, I'm going for 1.25 inch screw. So therefore I'll unloosen the collar, I'll set it on here, and you need to make sure, not the tip, you don't want the tip, but you want the bottom of basically the base before it splits off to the skinny part. So the base of the screw, you need that to line up with 1.25 or whatever depth you're going for. And you're gonna have to play with this though. So depending on the thickness, once you put your piece in here and you put this back, if this isn't touching your piece snug, then you need to take I cannot remember the name of shit today. The nut. You need to take the nut and adjust it. So whether, all right, and this will come either out or in, depending on the thickness, but you gotta play with it. And then once you got it to where you feel as though your piece is actually in there snug enough, then clamp it down and your piece isn't going anywhere. So like I said, do not forget to adjust this. This is going to be for the thickness of your piece. If you do not adjust this, you are going to screw through your piece and it's going to be ruined. Don't forget to adjust that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get through it.
My shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, you don't have to hide it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, don't hide it. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. Alright y'all, so we're done the cubbies. I decided to leave this one open and not make it a cubby for shoes. Instead it's going to be a cubby for my kids' book bags. So they're not dropping the book bags as soon as they come in the house, and we just put it in there. That'll be for book bags. So we got 2 rows of shoes, and there's plenty enough space on each row for shoes. Got to put the top on, screw that down, and then put the face frame on. So that way you don't see like all this raw wood, and it'll look, seamless. And then after the framing is done, then we'll do the not so fun part, which is sanding. I gotta screw this last one on. Then we gotta go back before we do sanding. We gotta go and plug, basically fill all of these holes, all of the pocket holes, with wood filler, so that when you go to sand it, it'll sand smooth and you wouldn't even know that it was a hole there. So we're going to plug all the holes with wood filler. Once that dries, then we'll sand the whole thing. We're going to try to get it smooth with the first round of sanding, hopefully. And if that works well, then we'll wipe it off, suck up all the dust, and then prepare it for staining. Oh, so I did run into a mistake, y'all. Remember how I told you that these walls are not even? So the top, and you'll see it once I put it on. The top, it left me a really large gap all the way around the top. So there's really no way of fixing it unless I put like a trim around it, and I'll show you what I mean when I put the top on. Same with the how it is now. I had to put shims in the back of it because once again the walls are not even. I've never seen walls this uneven before in my life. So I had to put shims on the back part. It's only 3 of them. So basically what a shim is you take a thin piece of wood and squeeze it in between your gap,
And basically that's what that is. So I have one here, one here, and one there. So it kind of, what it did, it kind of made the box even for me. So when I put the top on, it leaves a large gap now around the back. And I didn't think of that. I didn't think that through when I put the shims in, which it's all good. I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna look okay once I put the trim on. I really don't want to put a trim on around the top because I think that's kind of going to throw off the look that I'm going for, but it is, I really don't have a choice. But yeah, pretty much I told you it's gonna be a lot of trial and error. I never claimed to be a professional. I'm not a professional. It's called DIY for a reason, because you're doing it yourself, and you're gonna run into some shit. You're gonna run into mistakes. You're gonna run into, I mean, even professionals aren't perfect. So, but we're gonna get it done. So we're gonna learn as we go, and you're gonna learn from my mistakes what not to do. So let me put the pocket holes in this one. Put the pocket holes in the last one, and then we're gonna put the top one. Oh yeah, so I had to go and buy a new drill bit for the Craig jig because the one I had, I didn't realize that mine, hold up, all right, you see the black ring inside of the hole? I didn't realize on my old one that the black ring was missing. So because it was missing, I couldn't use the Allen wrench to loosen up the nut so that I can adjust the depth. So I had to go buy a new one. It was only $20. But it did come with a gauge thing to set the depth, so you don't have to keep putting it onto the actual Craig jig system itself, which I think was pretty cool. I've never seen that before. But and it has the depths on it. You see it? You got 3/4 and what is that? 1/2 inch and 1.5 inches. And like I said, our piece is 3/4 inch thick, and that's what you set it to. Alright, so let's get the holes in this last one. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. Shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free, and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, you don't have to hide it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, don't hide it. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. Say welcome to my channel. Anyway, y'all, so we're back. Alright, so this part is going to be filling in all the nail holes, the seams with wood filler. Once it dries, we'll sand it. Once it's sanded, it'll look like a whole solid piece. You won't see no seams, no nothing. We're gonna apply it with, it's called a joint knife, but I call it a spatula. you're gonna need caulk. I use the Dat brand. If you plan on staining or painting your piece, make sure that the caulk that you get says that it's paintable or stainable. If you get a caulk that is not paintable or stainable, once you go to paint or stain your piece, once you go over the caulk, it's not going to take. So you're literally going to see paint might go over it, but it's going to look, it's not going to look right. Yeah, but make sure it says that it could be either paintable and or stainable, and that's pretty much it. So once we get that done, it should be a fast process. Like I said, the wood filler, it dries pretty quick. Once it's dry, then we'll do the not so fun part, which is the sanding part. Like I said before, y'all, we're gonna try to get this sanding done with one round. Hopefully we can get it done in one round. Oh, I have not made my mind up if I want to keep this trim going around, or if I want to go to Home Depot and get like a real flat trim piece called ladder. Just put it around, and it's probably maybe like a 3/8 of an inch thick, maybe, and put that down instead of using the 1x3s. The more I look at the boards on here now, I'm not feeling it. But I don't know. I might just keep it on there. But for right now, I'm not gonna nail it in right now until I actually make up my mind what I want to do. So we're just gonna worry about getting the wood filler on right now, and then come back and worry about the rest. My plan was to stain the whole piece. I think I changed my mind on that. So now I think what I want to do, I think I just want to stain the top and then paint the bottom. And I think I said in the previous clip, the plan for the wall. So we're going to take the hardboard and put it up as faux shiplap, and then paint that. So that way, you know, this wall won't be, we really don't have to worry about sanding down anything or painting or going over any imperfections on this wall, because it's going to be covered up anyway. So, and then after all that is done, oh, and while I'm at it, while I'm doing the sanding, while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and hit the, you probably can't see it. Hold on. I may as well go ahead and hit the rest of the wall for the mudroom, because as you can see, I didn't finish the sanding part. Yeah, ceiling too. All of it needs to be sanded, so that way we can prep for paint. And then after all of that, we can we'll get back to the flooring. And then we'll start putting the first row of flooring down. And then once the first row of flooring is down, then we'll put in the baseboard. So that way the floor is locked. The floor will be locked in. And then we could just continue to keep going. But other than that, I'm gonna try to get this thing done and finished. What's today? Tuesday? Hopefully by the end of the week, y'all. It's not going to take me that long. It shouldn't take me that long. But I still have to work. I still have kids. Yeah. So, and my kids is mainly the reason why I take so long on these projects. Because they really don't let me do anything, as you can see. But yeah, let's get to it, y'all.